The easiest and most impactful way of helping our show grow is to open up iTunes and leave a rating and review. Just search for the term marijuana. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Tuesday, January 23rd, 2018, and you're tuned in to episode 415 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. Our top story of the day starts us off in the Green Mountain State, which, with the signature of Republican Governor Phil Scott yesterday afternoon, became the first state in the U.S. to legalize adult use marijuana via the legislative process. Vermont's new adult use law goes into effect on July 1st and allows adults of age to possess up to an ounce of marijuana and to grow up to 4 plants at home, with 2 of those being mature and the other 2 seedlings. Vermonters won't be able to set up and access any kind of commercial system, at least not yet. Bruce Barcott over at Leafly has a good write-up with details about the new bill. Huge congrats in Vermont to everyone who helped make this happen. A new study written up in Forbes suggests that alcohol sales in states with legal medical marijuana dropped as much as 15%. Researchers with 2 U.S. universities and 1 from South America studied sales data from 90 U.S. store chains that sell alcohol. Think grocery stores, pharmacies, and straight-up alcohol stores. Their data set was for the years 2006 through 2015 and showed a drop of 15% in alcohol sales in medical marijuana states, after factoring out various demographic and economic variables. This is something we all need to have a working knowledge of, as you can bet that alcohol executives are seeing the same numbers and either planning to attack or assimilate legal cannabis. Our final top story of the day is a piece by our buddy Tom Angel over at Marijuana Moments, rounding up all the most recent efforts by various states to advance marijuana legalization in the face of Attorney General Jeff Sessions' rescinding of the Cole Memo, the Obama-era guidance document that had protected state legal medical marijuana from being prosecuted by the Department of Justice. Besides the big obvious win of Vermont legalizing adult use marijuana via legislative action, there's also been substantial pro-pot moves by states like New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, and Hawaii. Pop over to Marijuana Moment for the full read on this one. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com and on our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out on headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, MJ Today Media, publishers of this podcast, our weekly show, Marijuana Today, and our popular email newsletter, the MJ Today Media Newsfeed. Now is the perfect time to sign on as a sponsor of MJ Today Media, because you can sign up under last year's ad rates even as our traffic soars thanks to the ever-advancing march of legalization. There's no hotter industry around than legal cannabis, and no one more connected to its news flow than MJ Today Media. We're relied on by CEOs, investors, entrepreneurs, and other industry leaders to help keep them in the news loop. We're coming up on 4 years of publishing our weekly podcast, Marijuana Today, and 2 years with this show, Marijuana Today Daily, which is an eternity in the realm of legal marijuana. Put the power of our 20,000 plus listener audience to work for your legal marijuana business by sending an email to advertising@mjtodaydaily.com. That's advertising@mjtodaydaily.com. All right, time for the blitz. Leafly has an excellent long-form piece up looking at the tensions rippling through California's Calaveras County over the issue of cannabis cultivation. Earlier this month, county supervisors voted by a count of 3-2 to ban marijuana cultivation in the area, even though thousands of small marijuana farms had sprung up in recent years, with many of them actually licensed by county officials. At least they were until January 10th's vote to ban growing cannabis. As you might imagine, this giant regulatory rug pulling is shaking up a lot of drama within the county, which you really just need to open up Leafly to read all about. Yesterday, the state of Nevada released sales tax data for their legal cannabis industry for the month of November. Legal cannabis sales tax brought in a total of $5.5 million to state coffers for the month, down from $5.8 million in October. In all, Nevada's made just under $25 million in tax revenue since adult use sales began in July. The Attorney General of Pennsylvania has come out in support of his state's nascent medical marijuana industry, even as the state's U.S. attorney said that his office will continue to treat marijuana as an illegal substance. Pennsylvania Attorney General Josh Shapiro said his job is to first uphold state law, which now allows for medical marijuana. Yesterday, Attorney General Shapiro told a Pennsylvania TV station, quote, "It's my job to uphold the law here in Pennsylvania, and on a bipartisan basis, the legislature passed and the governor signed a medical marijuana law that is very popular," unquote. Shapiro went a step further when asked about his ability to protect Pennsylvania citizens from federal prosecution by saying, quote, "Take a look at my record. I've protected the interests of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania from federal overreach. We have sued the federal government. We've defended the rules of our Commonwealth multiple times, and I haven't lost yet," unquote. Sounds like a solid guy to have in your corner. The Massachusetts Cannabis Control Commission is considering a plan to deploy so-called secret shoppers to check out licensed marijuana dispensaries set to open up later this year to make sure they're following all the rules they need to follow. Open up Mass Live if you want to read more on this one. The Denver Post has an insightful article up about the state of Colorado's efforts to reduce the number of underage kids using cannabis through advertising. This is a topic with a deep background stretching all the way back to the 80s and the Just Say No campaign, but as the Post is reporting, Colorado's found more success by taking a softer approach to telling kids they should hold off on using marijuana. This is one of those big, ubiquitous issues sure to pop up everywhere cannabis is legalized, so I'd zip over for the full read. Netflix's new stoner-based comedy Disjointed, starring Kathy Bates as an aging former hippie dispensary owner, is getting some flack within California's marijuana industry for a character on the show, now in its second season, which mocks well-known medical marijuana entrepreneur and activist Steve DeAngelo, owner of Oakland-based Harborside. The character on Disjointed, who also sports DeAngelo's well-known pork pie hat and thin, long braids, is named Angelo DeStevens and is played as, and you'll have to excuse my language here, a bit of a dick. The real Steve DeAngelo isn't too excited about the negative portrayal of the character and has complained on Twitter of not being consulted by anyone from the show. This is another good one to dive into for the full read. And finally for today, Marijuana Business Daily's chart of the week nicely shows the maturation of Colorado's legal marijuana industry by charting the percentage change in retail sales for months compared to the year's previous month. As their 3 years of data shows, whereas in 2015, year-over-year monthly sales increased in the 70 to 120% range, 2017's growth numbers were more in the 20 to 40% range. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. What's orange and sounds like a parrot? A carrot. Just a quick heads up before we wrap for the day. My buddy Andrew Livingston, the top analytical and data guy over at Vicente Cederberg and a regular on our show Marijuana Today, put together a super helpful resource by collecting all the public comments made by the nation's various U.S. attorneys about their stances on marijuana prosecutions following the rescinding of the Cole Memo. We've posted Andrew's work in a handy Google Sheets document, which you can find a link to on our website and Twitter page. Huge thanks to Andrew for putting that together. Thanks to our sponsor, MJ Today Media, and to all of our awesome Patreon listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the Patreon listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with Marijuana Today.
One take, Shay. One take.